it, watch her run. Shotgun come with the options. In big blitz, nobody block.
Today, from U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis, it's Week 5 of the NFL on EA Sports. It's the Minnesota Vikings taking on the Green Bay Packers.
Now we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And a glance here at the man calling the plays under center, their 6'4" quarterback.
And he is hot, hot, hot. Yeah, okay, so there's a blemish in there, right? He did throw one interception in the last game.
But 5 touchdown passes.
Okay, that's the offset you want.
I say bench him. 5 touchdowns, 1 interception.
You are tough, Coach. I thought the ratio was if you got to 3-1, your quarterback was operating at peak efficiency. 5-1.
And a win.
And a win? Yeah, just let him keep throwing it.
Now the first carry for Dalvin Cook. And he'll be upended at the 28-yard line. Just a 3-yard gain there. The numbers a week ago for Cook. He was creeping up toward 200 yards. Thought he was going to get there. Didn't quite make it, but also 2 rushing touchdowns.
And even if he only got about half those numbers this week, his team would take it in a heartbeat, wouldn't they? Because last week, he was spectacular.
He works his way forward for a couple up past the 30. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Yeah, he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. A big play there on the catch and run.
Things are looking pretty darn good on this first drive, aren't they? Came right out, set the tone, this time with a big pass play.
And if the peek behind the curtain that they gave us or their game plan today, I don't think that's going to be the last one we see.
I think you're exactly right about that.
Now a quick slant as the throw's complete. And he's going to get this down near the 20-yard line. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high power, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20-point score, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9.
His passing's been on point on this drive, hasn't it? Been very accurate, gotten the ball downfield, gained nice chunks of yardage. But now, in this situation, the field is really condensed, partner. So if he's going to throw the football, that has to be pinpoint here.
I was going to ask you about that. Field shrinks, has to be sharper, but it's been a good opening drive so far.
Now they just want to see if they can cap it off with the bell ringer and put it in the end zone.
And the ball smack dab on the 5-yard line. Here's 2nd and goal. They try again with Cook. And he will fight his way into the end zone for a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings take the ball down the field and score on their opening drive.
First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
Now the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's capped off by the touchdown run coming from Dalvin Cook. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. Here we go with the Packer offense, guided by their decorated QB with a long list of Pro Bowls and other accolades next to his name, of course. Aaron Rodgers leading the way.
And you and I both know that any win is a good win, and that's what they did last week. But there's also plenty for him to work on in his game, wasn't there?
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, an interception. Yeah, you know, he wants to increase that a little bit in terms of ratio. But first and foremost, they did win the game.
Gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. He was well over 100 yards last week. He told us this week, a little ambitious, that he wants to hit that 200 mark. We'll see.
Makes sense, though, doesn't it? Have we ever run into a running back that had a great game the week before that didn't think that's just going to naturally continue? Just make sure you feed me the football. And that's what they're all about. Continuity, rhythm, number of carries. Just keep giving it to him.
Pretty much unreal, not just in terms of yardage, Charles, but also throw in the 3 touchdowns as well.
When you put the whole package together, I can make you a pretty good guarantee right now. He's going to see a few more people in the box every time he lines up.
Yeah, I don't think that the defense has any choice. They've got to stop him. Can't let a repeat performance like that.
Agreed.
On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. He gets that catch good for 5. It's 3rd down.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack. It's a loss of 10 on the sack, and it leads to 4th.
Well, competition comes up in so many different ways. And right now, this unit, their competition is who's going to get to the quarterback the most times. How about 5 sacks last week? We just saw their first one of this game.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away.
On the return is Peterson. That'll go as a 39-yard punt. Give him 9 on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. Whatever he was doing in September, they're hoping that that carries over now to October because he was sensational last month.
He absolutely was, and we all know where it started at the end of last season, right? All the offseason preparation, the weight workouts, the sprints, right? The vision that he had, what he was going to do this season. And, of course, it all came together with the rest of the team. Those big fellows up front, leverage, and boy, are they getting downfield and creating extra blocks.
They really are. Everyone's been doing their job so far to create those holes. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Cook following the penalty. And he'll wind up with about 6, up past the 30 to the 31.
This defense for the Packers, they played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And what I saw on film was a nearly unstoppable pass rush. 5 sacks last week, plenty of hurries given up. So now what do you do on offense? You just max protect, keep everyone in and run the ball? or maybe just 1 or 2 receiver routes in order to try and keep your quarterback upright. Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th. The Vikings send out their punter. Back deep, Antonio Brown. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. Fielded just inside the 20. That'll be a 43-yard punt, but a net of just 33 following a 10-yard return. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
Rodgers now on first down. Incomplete.
Well, you know, this club, there were some reports earlier in the week, and most have heard this by now, the so-called unnamed sources that were saying all is not rosy in that locker room. There's whispers that 1 or 2 guys, CD, have kind of had enough of how things are going and have been going. How would you handle that as a coach?
Well, you and I both know all the coaches that we've dealt with and come in contact with.
A leap, and he will make the catch. And he goes down, but not before getting us inside the 25.
I'm trying to understand. I just can't.
So a little extra on top of the big play there.
It's tough for guys rushing the passer, but you have to know when the ball is gone. And if you listen, officials will tell you ball's gone. He didn't pull up.
And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop a shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
And the Packers are going to be set up with a 1st and goal. He couldn't quite reach the chalk, but they'll have it at the 1-yard line. And now the red flag out on the field. We'll have a challenge forthcoming. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
So not successful there on the challenge, and he'll have to be careful from here on out because he'll only have 1 challenge remaining. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Green Bay touchdown. A great effort there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Packers are within an extra point of tying this thing up. A strong, determined run there, Charles, to get in for 6 points.
This is why it's such a team game, isn't it? And I know it sounds really generic and it sounds almost trite, but the blocks were made up front, offensive line, collective victory at the line of scrimmage and downfield. And how about the finish to the run all the way into the end zone?
Crosby connects on the extra point, and we are tied here in the 2nd quarter. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. The return man down to a knee, and this will come out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to
so
something
well,
else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
Yeah, this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Nice satisfying run on first down for the offense, picking up 5, which means defensively, the thought process is entirely different. You don't want to panic, but at the same time, you're saying to each other, we've got to tighten this down. We can't give up gains like that.
Open man is Davidson, the tight end. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. The corner blitz pays off there as they sack him for a loss of 5.
Well, how about that? The defense's first sack. It doesn't come from one of the usual suspects up front. It comes from the secondary.
Yeah, I think they caught the quarterback off guard a little bit because he wasn't able to account for the possibility of that blitz and change the blocking assignments. He comes through and puts him on the ground.
2nd and 15.
That's to the tight end, Davidson.
That catch good for only a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
That'll be caught over the middle by Moss. And he's going to be taken down at the 39, clearly short of the first by a few yards. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out.
That kick, by the way, Charles, a career long.
Well, we did watch him in pregame, and he hit from this distance, so not a surprise. But there still is something exciting about it, carrying it over from practice and pregame to actually doing it in live action.
And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Green Bay offense ready to take over. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
On 1st down, Rodgers. And he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
And he'll give it here to his running back. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on 2nd down.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
On 2nd down now, it's Green.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a 1st down, keep the sticks moving.
They'll run on 1st down. It's Green, and he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
47 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, CD a lot of times like to separate speed and quickness, and they've got a back that's both. We know that he's fast in the open field, but, man, his first step is so quick, too.
It is something, isn't it? Because you think of that type of speed getting to the perimeter and turning upfield, but also when you run those inside runs, he can get into the secondary so fast the linebackers don't have a chance to react.
Throwing on 1st down is Rodgers. Flushed out right. He hits Adams complete. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4.
Of course we think of Aaron Rodgers as a pocket passer, but you and I both know this guy's a pure athlete. He can get outside and make plays with his legs as well.
I showed it right there outside of the pocket and on the money. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. A great play there. His 10th touchdown of the season, 2nd of the game. And once again, the Packers, they're back out in front.
So his strong first half continues as he finds the end zone here for the 2nd time.
And definitely good blocking at the point of attack, and you just have to love watching the way he can create space down near the goal line, and he's able to take it into the end zone.
Extra point up and good by Crosby, and the lead is now 14-10. 5 plays there on that drive, and it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
This is taken just shy of the 10. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Minnesota now ready for their next possession.
And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of.
Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll drop to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this is, oh my goodness, he pulled it in one-handed. A big play there for Minnesota.
And worth pointing out, after that last completion, that puts this young quarterback over 10,000 yards passing for his career. And fair to say, he's not done yet.
No doubt about it. He's really just getting started because he's not quite into the prime of his career. So it's likely he's going to hit a few more of these milestones as this career progresses. So let's face it, we'll acknowledge this number and we'll celebrate the milestones down the road.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a 1st down in the red zone. Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble, and the Packers pick it up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball. You know there's going to be some traffic somewhere. They've got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Getting set to go again as we look at the back, heading onto the field again. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter.
And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had.
Right.
Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100.
He's been working well towards 100 here.
Boy, that completion comes with a high degree of difficulty, especially on the catch. Had to look that one in one-handed, able to do so, and ends up picking up a 1st down as well.
One play has him to the 37 here for 1st and 10. From the gun. He completes it to Nelson. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Rodgers. And he's out of bounds just before the midfield stripe at the 49.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the 1st down.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Slant to Adams. And he'll be pulled down, and now a late flag will come with it. And that's in the area of a face mask, I think.
Can't do that.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march off another 15 against your squad.
And they give this time to the tailback. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So with 1 second left in the half, on is the field goal unit. And Crosby puts it through, and that will do it for this first half. So we've come to halftime here with the visiting Packers out on top. As we'll send you down to Orlando, we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thank you very much. More from you, too, in just a bit. But first, let's get everybody caught up with what's going on around the NFL here in Week 5. We'll get started up at FedEx Field in our nation's capital. And it's the Rams who are out in front in that one. The Rams looking to sew that one up, and they look to be in pretty good shape. From there, we head down to sunny Miami to check on the Dolphins at home at Hard Rock Stadium. And at the half, they trail the visiting Jets in that ball game. Terrell Davis, a touchdown catch in that first half. Finally, let's get to Philadelphia. Check on the Eagles at home at Lincoln Financial Field. And for the moment, they find themselves trailing the visit.
We now proceed to the start of the second half. So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. So here are the Packers now to take over. They were winners last week, defeating the Raiders, and right now they're in the driver's seat here as they start off 1st and 10. They'll start the third quarter here on the ground, and they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. And the offense moving quickly to the line. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Green. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up. Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Now they'll throw with Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. Rodgers sliding to a stop with a first down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And quickly, he just gets that ball out of there. Not quite sure what he was doing, and here comes the flag. Clearly wasn't outside of the tackle box. There's your penalty.
And accompanying that penalty, a loss of down.
They lose the yardage, and of course they also lose the down on the grounding call, and it's quickly 2nd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Nelson. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. Extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Now Rodgers. He'll call Nelson's number yet again. It's complete. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. On now is Mason Crosby, who's hit from as far as 58 in his career. They spot it on the midfield stripe, so it is a 60-yard attempt here.
And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is. It's not too often you see a holder putting that football down right on the midfield stripe. 60 yards, Charles, but a little bit too much to bite off there.
Yeah, it's good to show confidence in your kicker. That might have been just a little bit too much. I'll guarantee you, as you just noted, putting it down on the midfield stripe, the holder's thinking to himself, that's a long way. Probably not as confident as well. That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
They run again on first down. Cook, he gets it forward for 4, maybe 5, but the flags fly. And this one could be coming back. So that one will be accepted. They run it again with Cook. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
Well, obviously, they would have at least liked to have gotten back to the original line of scrimmage. Instead, now, they're dealing with 2nd and long.
I thought they would have passed it after the penalty. Probably wish they would have now. 2nd and 14. He'll get that one to Carter, complete. That's the number 2 receiver in the NFL in terms of yardage. And tell you what, a few more plays like that, he won't be number 2 for long.
Well, that's what often happens when you have competitors running around the field. These guys know where they stand in relationship to yardage, totals, numbers, the whole deal. And let's face it, all of them, they all want to be number 1.
And he will have a Vikings first down by about a yard as they're able to convert on 3rd and 2. Now Cook. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
And he'll go down right on the edge of the red zone following a pickup of about 7 or 8. Heavy set out there on 3rd and 1. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. Give him a yard on the play, and he's definitely short. It'll be 4th down and a few inches.
They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This would be a critical call.
And he's going to get forward for about 5, but that may be coming back. What say you, Mr. Referee? No! So out comes a field goal team now for the 2nd time here today. He connected on his first, this from 41. And his kick is indeed good. And that will cut this lead back down to 4 now. It's 17-13. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
Well, look at the running back, the man out of the backfield as he gears up to go again. He is hoping to find the end zone for a 3rd time, and we sit now in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing would excite him more, but I think even more so, his offensive line. Anytime you've got a guy scoring that many times, that means you've done a really nice job in front of him.
You're always giving props to the big fellas up front.
It's always a good idea. Those are some massive men.
On first down, Green. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 88 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. After he cleared the line of scrimmage, nice little hole developed.
Yeah, great blocking right there at the start. But how about his vision, finding the open spaces and letting his feet carry him to him?
Right back to him on first down. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 3 quarters have come and gone. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Now a give right side. Green. He's got the first down and more inside the 40. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
On 2nd and 7, Rodgers. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
But nothing takes a start to have a good drive quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
No, now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Rodgers now, after the sack, he'll lead the pack up on 3rd and long. Shotgun now for Rodgers. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Xavier Woods with a pick. And the Vikings are right back in this football game. A critical error there in a tight game of the 4th.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the 4th quarter, turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the 4th quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
Middle of the field to Jefferson.
Second and 5.
He's going to get this one down to Cook.
So just 3 yards on the completion there. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. Charles, this one, not over, certainly, but you set the magic number earlier in this game at 20 points. Said that they would need to hold them right around that marker under it. What are you seeing here?
Well, that number is still in play because we said, okay, 20 or under gives them a chance to win. Right on pace for being in that range. And guess what? They've got a shot.
50 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. He'll drop to throw.
And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
It's been clear in this matchup which side has been the more physical one. It's been this defense. And here's another example on that last play.
He'll try again with the arm here on 2nd down. That'll be complete to Cook. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
That one caught by Carter. And this is going to result in another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Packers' 13-yard line. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. And after getting tackled, he's still down and looking very slow to get up. While the training staff works on him, we'll step aside and be right back. Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. On the give is Nwangu. And a nice pickup there as he'll take it from the 10 down to the 5-yard line.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Touchdown! A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have once again taken the lead.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. That time, a 9-play drive, and it's polished off by a Viking score. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. A good rally to the football keeps him to only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Now a good job shifting right, finding his target. And he will finally be taken down, but not before he reaches the 38. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. To throw is Rodgers. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. And that's good for a gain of 6, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And if you're thinking field goal from here, it's 48 yards. I think they'd like to get him a little help now on 3rd down and move it closer. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as they'll get it with just over 90 seconds to go in the ball game. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. Green. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. An 18-yard touchdown run. And the Packers have moved out in front here in the 4th quarter.
And touchdown, and congratulations, and 0 relaxation ahead of them, right? Way too much time on the clock for them to start celebrating.
Yeah, part 1 is done, but now on the sideline, you can already see them scrambling down there. They're getting those defensive guys ready.
Yes, you have to get those guys ready, and you also have to talk to your special teams guys. Make sure the kickoff is exactly what you want and cover it well.
Crosby with the extra point, and that will make this a 4-point game. That time a 6-play drive. And a nice play on the end of it. An 18-yard touchdown run. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Pulls it in at the 13.
Now on the return, oh no, the ball is loose. And this is going to be Packer football.
So problems there on the return, very costly, not what you need when you've just surrendered the lead.
Not at all, because this now has a chance to really snowball on them quickly. Their offense was on the sidelines talking about getting on the field and getting that score back.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After reviewing the play, the rule on the field is reversed.
So the officials and the folks in New York got a second look at this one, and the call is going to be overturned.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They're down here in a one-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late-game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to execute them.
Yeah, they have the opportunity now. Here's the execution. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. It looks like the Packers have added an extra DB on third down. Back to throw. He wants it all for the end zone. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute.
How many people are watching this one right here who gave up? Because that score, they might want to try and rush back into this stadium.
Yeah, what looks like is going to be the game-deciding score, although a little bit of time left, so you can't count your chickens before they're hatched.
Well, they better come back in here and watch this one, because you and I, we're not going anywhere. We want to see this one play out.
Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it, and this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. A drive there of just 4 plays.
And it's capped off by the late touchdown that puts him out in front here in the final minute of the contest.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And that'll be a little too hot to handle as it will skip through the end zone for a touchback here.
So now Rodgers in the pack. Down 27-24, 30 seconds to go. How will this thing pan out? We'll watch as they come up on first down.
Back to throw, Rodgers. Flush to his right. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away. So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. Rodgers to throw. Oh, I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Tried to go for the big one there on second down. Now they're likely down to their final 2 plays.
And you know they've got to keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in the game.
1 score down. Here we go. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. Now Rodgers got to have this one. Pass complete. It's Adams. And he's going to get out of bounds. That stops the clock, and they pick up a good chunk of yardage as well.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
He's back to throw. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. And whistles, and they take their final timeout with 7 seconds left. Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. They'll look to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. So after all of this, it comes down to one final play.
And just think of what it's going to be, because from this distance, you've got to be prepared for everything. Hook and laterals, tip balls, you name it. A lot of laterals after a catch. Just got to be prepared, stay on your feet defensively, and tackle someone.
Complete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And they're out of timeouts, remember, so this is going to have to be a delay. So that'll back them up 5.
Still 30.
Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. You're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long shot.
So for Minnesota, they improved to 5-0 now on the young season. And next week, they get to stay home again as the Los Angeles Chargers come to town. Meanwhile, for the Packers, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll be on the road next week for a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.